This is Channel 3 Reports.
Good evening. Tonight we begin our news in Kansas City, Missouri.
Mrs. Reagan came here to repeat a message she has often preached to young children.
Just remember, just say no.
You're looking at a city that may soon be declared a nuclear-free zone. All the talk about the bomb and missiles is nothing new to Chico. In fact, the city played host to a Titan missile base for several years.
The Midway is the place to come to people watch at the carnival, and this time of night is the pleasant time to do it because the weather is so pleasant.
Bette Midler has just arrived. She was a little late coming in.
Very late.
Very late. Welcome to
Half hour late, and I'm terribly sorry. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, I'm late. Will you forgive me?
Oh, yeah.
I forgive you, too.
First, best, live. This is News 36 at 6.
You're looking live at the scene of a deadly train accident in Williamson County. Good evening, I'm Robert Hadlock reporting live from the News 36 live copter. The accident happened just after 9 o'clock.
Robert, this is also the governor's first public appearance since election night.
The governor lost her bid for re-election. She's been keeping a very low profile since then. She will not become chair of the Democratic National Committee, and she will not become an actress in Hollywood. So what will she do with her future?
No, I think I have a lot of options. I'm talking to a lot of people.
Robert Hadlock joins us now live from Chicago. Robert, what's happening right now?
Well, tonight, Stacey, we're on the floor of the convention on this last evening. It has just been gavelled to a close, and perhaps you can see behind me President Clinton still enjoying the scene here with his family.
This is KXAN-TV, Channel 36 in Austin.
Glad you like our music, Mr. President.
I like it. I knew I was listening to a real place when the music was country.
There you go.
Bush supporters say breaking the Democratic lock on El Paso politics will help the local economy. El Paso's unemployment rate is at 11%, almost 4 times what it is in Austin.
President Bush has let the Democrats have the spotlight this week while he's been in his ranch in Crawford. Earlier tonight, maybe you saw it, Willie Nelson, one of the most popular Central Texans of all, was here right on this stage behind me.
Living in the promised land.
The whole world was watching the events unfold here in this pasture just east of Waco. The fire erupted very quickly. Only a handful escaped. Cult leader David Koresh and 78 of his followers died shortly after the FBI assaulted the place.
Robert Hadlock in Nacogdoches. Let's go back to Robert now live.
Well, Leslie, they're closely guarding this very relatively large chunk of debris from the Columbia that's here in the parking lot. Reporting live tonight from Old Havana, Cuba. We're in the Plaza de Armas here. It is one of the oldest sites in Cuba. In fact, this fort behind me was built by the Spanish 440 years ago. Quite a lot of history in this city, and quite a lot of history to be made tomorrow when Pope John Paul II arrives here on what he is calling a pastoral visit. Many people hope that the Pope will also bring up during his time here the issue of human rights when he meets with Fidel Castro later this week. Americans in Cuba are a rare sight these days. Everywhere we go here in Havana, we attract a crowd of onlookers. Despite years of antagonism between our two governments, people here have been very friendly and talkative, except on one subject.
You're going to put me in jail.
I don't know. We had just asked this man to tell us about life in Cuba, but he feared someone from the government was watching. It turns out he was probably right. These camera-shy men had been following us for an hour, paying close attention to everyone we interviewed.
This is KXAN News 36 at 6.
And you're looking live at Pope John Paul II in Toronto to greet more than 400,000 young people from around the world, including several hundred from Central Texas. You might ask, where is Pope John Paul II? Well, he has gone off to a remote island about an hour north of Toronto for some rest.
Since the 1930s, scientists from around the world have been coming to this desolate spot in the Davis Mountains to peer deep into the universe. When this telescope was built in 1969, it was the 3rd largest in the world.
Robert, this game really doesn't need much hype, does it?
Oh, people have been waiting all season for this, especially the last 2 weeks since the Longhorns have been playing so well.
After that unbelievable finish, you can't imagine what the feeling was like being here in the Rose Bowl, watching it for yourself. What do you make of this moment?
Epic. So those 2 fingers right there mean what everyone else means when they do that. He's number 1 in the world.
There's some buzz about your possible next job, perhaps a run for the presidency in 2012.
I tell people that I'm focused on this election, and I have no interest in going to Washington, D.C.
Governor, how's your reception been here tonight?
It's been awesome. It's great, man. These people are just, it's all friendly. You'd think it was in Texas if you didn't know better.
Is this going like you thought it would so far?
So far, so good. It's been a great couple of days.
Governor Perry will continue campaigning here in Iowa through Tuesday.
Give us your best Texas twang.
I've worked really hard to try to get rid of it, but when I get tired or maybe have a beer or two, it comes out pretty easily.
At around 10 a.m., a senseless act of violence resulted in thick black smoke filling the skies at 183 near Mopac. This week marks the 4th anniversary of a grim event in Austin's recent history, when a suicide pilot crashed his small plane into IRS offices here in northwest Austin. The river that spearheaded much of the flooding winds through several Texas counties. We're talking, of course, about the Blanco. The power of the water not to be underestimated. Rain falling fast enough to shut down part of Interstate 35 outside of San Marcos. Upriver from San Marcos, water building up and then rushing down the Blanco, destroying hundreds of homes, dozens completely swept away.
We will see you back here tonight at 10 o'clock.
Up next, an all-new Wheel of Fortune.